Carthage must be destroyed. Hello everyone, there is some awesome news for you today. The news is that the Decal project, or rather the Decal project, I always mix, I'm not sure how to say that word, Decal. I've always said Decal, but apparently it's Decal. Decal? Decal? I don't know. I always say Decal, but it's Decal, apparently. However you say it, it doesn't matter. The project that I have been running on Kickstarter successfully funded, and it funded so incredibly fast. Within the first 2 days, we already reached the funding goal and the last stretch goal. So that's awesome. All 4 sheets that I planned to put out into production will come out now because we've fully funded it, thanks to all you awesome backers and thanks to all you people that supported and made suggestions and shared the Kickstarter all around the place. I really appreciate it, and I love having a successful Kickstarter project, and I especially love being able to share these decals, these images that you see on the shields here with everyone here, so everyone has a chance to use them. Now, today's video I'm going to film into 2 parts, and the first part here is going to be a shield size comparison, and I'm basically looking at the different decals that I have in my Kickstarter and showing people here what the sizes are and how they compare with one another. And it's kind of like an explanation based on size comparison. A lot of people have been sending me private messaging or asking me, hey, how do the shields match up to different companies and stuff? And one major question I keep getting, which you know what, I'll skip to the next part. I'll say the question in the first part of the video, because the first part of the video is going to be me addressing size comparisons, and I'm going to put that part on YouTube, but I'm also going to take that part out and only put it on Kickstarter, because I don't want to put a full-length YouTube video on the Kickstarter. I just want like a basic explanation, because not all my supporters jump on YouTube, and nor may they may not want to watch me blab on about my own collections and stuff. The second part is going to be my medieval, my 100 Years of War project that I'm also working on. I've started getting to that, and I just want to show people some models and stuff, kind of like the hobby blog stuff that I normally do. So let us go right into this first part here. We're just going to look at the different shields that I have in front of me here, and I'll just do a little talking about the sizes. Okay, so one question that I've had on the Kickstarter is, what kind of shields will these decals fit on? And another part of that question I often get is, will they fit on my Bretonnian knights? Just to put it directly, are they going to work on knights, especially knights that have horses, right? Horses might have some sort of barding or emblem on their sides. I forget the name, but they have almost like a cloth. But I designed my decals to have 2 facings, right? Here I have all left side facings, but they also have right side facings. So they'll be able to match opposite sides of one another when you put them on a horse. The second question is, will they fit on my shields? Now, unfortunately, I do not have any Bretonnian or knights done up. All the knights I'm interested in are more of the later medieval period, so a lot of that stuff doesn't actually have a shield that comes with it. A lot of them started to not use shields, right? Especially the men-at-arms and stuff like that. So I have, as you can see here, and you've seen them before, is I've got the Frostgrave guys, and these Frostgrave men-at-arms here, that's what we'll call them, they have Fireforged Sergeant foot soldiers. I think they're Fireforged foot sergeants? I forget the name, but they're Fireforged shields. They're quite big. You can see here that they pretty much cover the whole model from Frostgrave's, the Frostgrave soldier there. So I wanted them to cover a large fantasy style shield, and that put that's why I got Bretonnian and other knights of fantasy in mind, because I felt a lot of people that really like the decals want to use them in the way they want to. So I said, let's use them for a fantasy setting first. So I put most of my decals, as you guys have seen, on the fantasy figures. This is actually a Fireforged Sergeant itself with his actual shield. He's got the griffin on. You guys maybe have saw me put this on in my video where I explain how to put on Waterslide decals. But as you can see, all of the decals that I have are going to fit no problem on the Fireforged shields. Now, for Frostgrave, because they'd have much smaller shields in the Frostgrave soldier set. Oh, I just dropped that one there. They have much smaller shields, and some of my decals will fit on some of the Frostgrave soldiers, but I basically resized all the images based on what was in the book of heraldry where I got all the images from. So this guy, for example, in the book, he's relatively small versus, say, this lad back here with his boar. The boar head is, when I scan it, is much larger and is easier to get details on, where when you get something like this lion's head here, or this lion's head, or this bull here again, it ended up being smaller in the scan, and when I tried to resize it, it didn't really match up to a similar size. It actually was either too big or I lost detail or something like it. Different images had different issues. But in any case, yeah, there's different sizes. The best ones to look at for what you want to see if it'll work on the shield is probably something like the lion. And I think if you look at the images on the Kickstarter, it should be fairly clear which are going to be the biggest. If people aren't sure, they can always ask me. But something like this griffin here and this lion rampant here, they both are fairly larger ones, and as you can see, they fit perfectly fine on the Fireforge shields. So that leads into the next question: will these decals work on other shields? Now, I was doing medieval stuff in my own personal collection, and I saw one of the cities in France. I think it's pronounced Rouen. Correct me if I don't speak French if I'm not saying it right. But basically, one of the shields had one of the sheeps that was in the book, right? Because that's based off of real heraldry. So I put it on a Perry Miniatures shield here from the 100 Years War kit, and as you can see, it fits fine. And if we put other bigger ones here, like this guy appears bigger, it too will be able to fit no problem. So a shield that's about the size of Perry Miniatures on the 100 Years War kit, it shouldn't have any issue. These top decals here are from Games Workshop. They're old Bretonian decals. I only had two. The real flag, I guess, or the real coat of arms has 3 fleur-de-lis on the top, but I only had 2. So he's kind of like a fantasy version, or maybe the designer forgot one before he went to the 100 Years War. Now I also have an older Bretonian here, long out of production. And this shield here is an older plastic one. I don't know if it came with him, but a lot of the old Bretonian shields look like this one here, and they have different shapes and stuff, but they're more or less the same. This decal is also older Bretonian one. It's an old Bretonian decal. And you can see here, if I put him alongside the lion fellow here, now the older one there looks like it might be about the same height, but I would say that you'd have a very close fit here. You could probably fit the decal on the shield, no problem, but it would be very tight fitting, right? Same with this guy here. Like, I believe this guy could easily fit on this older Bretonian shield, and I think you'd have, I don't think you'd really have an issue. Most of the shield would be covered and would be very, it would pop a lot, right? Oh, I dropped him. Good thing I've got my cigar box battle mat that's nice and cushy. Underneath there's a free advertisement for them there. They're good mats. They're nice and soft, right? And the same thing here. That's a fairly large decal with that griffin there. But you can see on these older shields, if you have something like the old Bretonian fantasy ones, they should fit no problem whatsoever. So I unfortunately don't have a lot of medieval shields. I really wanted to do fantasy, as I was saying, to get some Frostgrave guys up. But of course, a lot of these decals could be used for historical. So I hope my my very short comparison here of some different companies will help some people out deciding if they want the decals or not. Of course, if you have any questions or you want to leave any comments, just let me know and I'll get back to you guys and let you know the best I can. I will be doing up some other models here. Different companies that I do have with shields. I'll try and do them before the Kickstarter ends so people can have some better ideas, put some squirrels and other things on there. I only did a certain amount going as fast as I can paint. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a size comparison to what I have anyway.